Greetings, warriors. Welcome to the Vigor Warriors Channel 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well today. I appreciate all the great comments and the likes and the subscriptions. I think we're getting close to 250, so thank you very much for that. Also, a shout out to Alvin. Thank you for the donation, and I appreciate that a great deal. I think the main thing that I always, as I was telling Alvin, I think the main thing for me is to get this information out. I fought a long battle, as we all are fighting. I'm 60 years old, so I'm fighting a lot of years to try to get to the point where now I can finally get some of the benefits that I should have been getting a long time ago, but I wasn't strong enough as a warrior to get it done. And now it's becoming better and better, and I want to kind of share those type of things. And the reason I want to do that is I want to kind of indicate that you should never give up, never stop the journey. And that's going to be the theme of this episode and this show, talking about the fact that you should never give up, and that the main thing is to win the war, not the battle. The main thing is you want to win the war. The war is the long-term goal. Now, what does the war mean? The war means is that, and I think we had a couple of people mention it in comments, and I want to shout out to people who've been talking about this a little bit. The main thing, guys, is to win the war. And that means that you're going to try to change your lifestyle. And that's the key. The key is a lifestyle change. I didn't really appreciate this when I was going through this for 40 years. I didn't realize that I had to make a life-changing decision. A life-changing attitude had to come into what I was saying and doing. And because of that, I don't think I really was that serious about it. I always felt there was reasons why I should stop retaining and continue onward. And I never really thought about the importance and the benefits, and I never saw the benefits to the point. Now, yes, I was doing Fountain of Youth, and I think that got me into the ballpark and kept me in the game. And I think God was trying to keep me in the game to the point that I could actually learn how to get to the point where I could actually go through retention. I think God did that on purpose to kind of give me a chance to say, okay, you've done these 5 different exercises for many, many years, but you never did the 6th one. And that's the matter of really trying to transmute your sexual energy, but you got to retain that to transmute it. And I never really gave that much thought. And I guess not until recently, where I finally said I had nothing to lose. This is 572 days now ago. I had nothing to lose. I might as well try in almost 100 days in monk mode. And the key, guys, is that you have to continue to realize that this is a war. We see a lot of wars out there right now between the blue matrix and the red matrix, and between what is evil and good, and what is right and wrong, and all these type of things, and what's real and what's fake. But guys, this is one area that is really real. The fact of the matter is that you're living in a war for your soul. And it's God, in my opinion, God against Satan. And Satan in many ways is trying to tempt you into doing a lot of things that are not good for you. They may seem good, it may seem pleasurable, but in the long run, it's not very good for you. And that's why it's important to realize that we have a lot of little battles here that can be won or lost, but in the long term, you can't forget about the overall goal. And the overall goal in this case is to win and change your life and not allow Satan to take it over. So many people have been emailing me lately. They've had relapses a couple times a day. Some people, released once, those type of things. Guys, this is going to happen. It happened to me for, 40 years. So it's something that's going to happen. There is no doubt in my mind that those things are not going to happen to all of us. We're all in that category. However, the key thing on all this, gang, is the fact that you have to realize that you are in a battle. The battle for your soul is important. And that's why, as you look at this, it's not really the case of whether or not you release. Now, yes, if you continue doing it, you fall back in a pattern, a bad habit. And this is kind of stuff that happened to me many times. I thought, oh, it was okay to release, and then you do it again, and now you're watching something. All of a sudden now, you're talking about a habit again. Remember, it only takes 3 weeks approximately to form a habit. So you can destroy a habit and begin one just the same way. This is why you got to be diligent. And that's why the Bible talks about you have to always stand your guard. Put your helmet of salvation on, and put your breastplate of armor on. Because you're always going to be attacked. Up until the last day when you go meet your Creator, you're going to be tempted. And those are the types of armor and things you have to have on you. In your mind, on your helmet, your breastplate, all the warrior types of things that you need to have to be able to say, I am not going to fall temptation to this. And I think once you start doing that, you build a habit, and even if you lose a battle, doesn't mean the war is over with. Look at any kind of war you've ever seen in the history of mankind. And even the winning side has lost many battles. So you're going to go back and forth. Now, my war was over 40 years and still going. And I finally have now moved into some positive ground. I was losing a lot of battles for 40 years. But now I'm turning it around. It took a long time. And one of the reasons I guess I'm talking about this and illustrating this is because some of you younger people, males and females now, are in a stretch of, it's hard when you're younger. Temptation is great. You have a lot more energy, testosterone running around, estrogen running around. You have lots of things going on that it's very difficult to say no to temptation, especially with the way that our world is right now. But remember, it's a battle. Your battle for your soul. This is the battle of life. And you may lose a battle, but you're going to win the war. And the war is life-changing. And if you're able to take control of your soul, and you're able to say, I'm going to stop these bad behaviors. I know they're destructive. I know they may give me a little pleasure at times, but in the long run, they're going to take another piece of my soul out. And at that point, you may get to the point where there's no coming back. Because what you have, and you're going to have gnashings of teeth and all this kind of stuff they talk about in the Bible, you become hardened. If your heart is hardened, what happens, guys, is that as you do this, and I saw myself moving in that direction, and fortunately, God bless, I was able to stop that and kind of, move back in the right direction. But there were times where I could see the progression. You start watching this stuff, and you start getting into it more and more. You get more deviant. You need more to excite yourself more, and all of a sudden now, your whole soul, you're soulless. You're losing all that. And that's when they talk about in the Bible that your heart becomes hard. With Pharaoh and Moses. Moses tried to tell Pharaoh several times to let the people go in Exodus. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened because he did not believe. He did more lascivious behaviors over and over and over again. This was happening in Rome. This is what happens to all empires. So I'm not here to blame people, judge people, because it's very easy to get tempted. So even with all this stuff going on in the society, we need to love people because we realize everybody is vulnerable to Satan. But the key, guys, is you have to stand your ground and say, I am not going to be tempted. I am not going to fall into the same thing that all these other people fell into in these dynasties. I'm not going to lose my soul because now I've gotten too far. And this is why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah in an hour. Babylon in an hour. Right? Rome was destroyed very quickly when it burned from inside out. the Incas, the Mayas, even England, 240 years. You know, it's a microcosm. But that's how long a lot of these things change. And we're at that point in the United States where we're over 240. So we have to get as many people as we can to try to go back to saving our energy, saving who we are, and be able to say, look, we are not going to fall into the same victimization into the problems that we saw back with all these empires, because they were too corrupt and morally bankrupt from within. All right, guys, so for those people out there who are relapsing at times, hang in there. It's only a battle, but remember the long-term goal. Don't continue doing it. Stop yourself, find a solution, and go to something else. If your mind is being taken off somewhere else and those birds are starting to fly over, get rid of the birds. Move to something else. Occupy your mind, find a goal, find something. In the holiday season, it's easier to get tempted because we're sitting at home enjoying things, and this is when things hit us. Keep occupied, keep busy, get some goals, do some lists, things like this. Find things to do, and there's less of a chance that those birds are going to start flying over your head. Now, we're not talking about good birds. We're talking about vultures coming after you. And they're going to be nesting your head and eating you up fast with that soul. All right, guys. Until next time. Battle on.